We are live. Look at you. Day 7 of 40 days to secure your wealth. And you are going strong. Hey, how you loving? How you loving? How you loving, family? OMG, family. Who is in? Hey, Lynn, good to catch you live too. How you loving? How you loving? How you loving? Who is in on mystical journeys? OMG. Mystical Journeys is huge, huge, huge. So we're starting our seventh day, our day 7 of our abundance in Secure Your Wealth. And Mystical Journeys is, oh my God, I don't even think there's ever been a masterclass like Mystical Journeys. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you. Mystical Journeys. Oh my goodness. I just love it, love it, love it. And I'm really thankful too, because with Mystical Journeys, we have created 11 of us together, along with Humanity's team. We have created something that I think you will love. I think you will love it. So let me know your thoughts on Mystical Journeys. Get in the masterclass and let me know your thoughts on Mystical Journeys. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right here. I don't think there's ever been a masterclass like this one with multiple teachers all coming together, and each of us doing three. You have three um, modules from each of us, and you also have a live class with each of us. Like, Mystical Journeys! I am so thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm so honored to be on Humanity's team. So you will see that on streaming. Yeah, we're, we're in the big leagues. Yeah, we're streaming. We're there. Let's begin. Deep breath. Day 7. Breathing deeply. Becoming acutely aware that the awareness, the consciousness I am, is life, is abundance, is beauty, is power, is wisdom, and that it is currently wearing a form to navigate the third dimension. Breathing and becoming fully aware that the form is not the true self. Breathing and giving thanks for the realization of infinite source as one's own essence. No separation. We are of and in infinite consciousness, source, pure energy, the organizing principle of the universe. Perfect, harmonious. What could possibly not be perfect and harmonious in your life and world as you live from the knowing of who you are, what you are? You're not a who at all. You're a what? Pure energy, life force, pure light energy, pure love energy. And breathing into this awareness, we now become aware that the cells of the body are now taking on the perfect function, perfection to the cells of the body, perfection to all of the eye cells and the liver cells and the blood cells, the T fighter cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, kidney cells, intestines cells, skin cells, all of the cells of the body And now being called into perfection because you chose to close your eyes, turn within, breathe, and remember your pure energy. In this space of no thought, there is only realization of bliss, divine rapture. Therefore, all is perfect. Breathe. Feel the perfection of your being right there, right there. Don't move. Experience it. Experience the freedom, the bliss, the tingle, the ecstasy of this right now moment. Void of content. Void of content. Simply the isness, the beingness that is infinite grace, infinite love. Mm. The more of your attention and awareness is focused here in this infinitude, the better your life becomes, for you are aligning with cosmic forces that are perfect. Energized, thankful. We now open our eyes, yet we keep our awareness within of infinite consciousness, the intelligence that creates all. Opening our eyes slowly, look down first and slowly, slowly, slowly raise your gaze. Yes, yes. You are loved. Love Day is coming up. Yay! And if you're watching the replay, Love Day is coming up again next February 14th. Let's go to our principle of abundance for today. And let me grab my iPad. Why do I not have my Kindle in my hand? It's close though. It is close. So, are you feeling differently during these 7 days so far? I am. I had a rock. I had an earth-shattering revelation. I'll share it with you right now about wealth and about purpose and about your path as I bring up number 7. Here was the groundbreaking realization I came to about this. Groundbreaking realization. How you love it, Cheryl? Coach Cheryl, how you love it? How you love it? Here was the groundbreaking revelation or realization. It was even beyond a revelation. It was a realization, or it is a realization. I'm in this realization right now. And this realization is that if you are not on purpose doing that which the higher intelligence, and when I say higher intelligence, I don't mean in direction, I mean advanced intelligence, far more advanced than my third dimensional mind. If we are not in complete alignment with that, your money is stumped. Now I'll go further, I'll say something more about this. There is something higher intelligence desires you to do. Now, this higher intelligence could come through angels, it could come through ascended masters, it could come through a group of beings, yes, that have assembled around you that you probably contracted with long before you came into the time space continuum, that have gathered around you and that back and support and hold the thing you came here to do. You contracted with them somehow. I contracted with a whole bunch of witches. They're all standing around me. And they always remind me when I'm afraid on my witchy path. They always remind me to come home. The whole rack of witches. They're all colors, all kinds of witches from all over the world. Now, I heard this from an incredible teacher, and the teacher, and I'll show you what this has to do with your money in a moment. This teacher said that every spiritual organization on the planet is backed by a group of higher intelligence beings that are the stronghold for that thing. Give you an example. A person didn't think up Rosicrucianism. Okay, so we hear a lot about Christian Rosenkreutz, and Christian Rosenkreutz, quite an incredible being. When you read about him and study about him, you wonder if he was even human, right? You hear about some of these people like Jesus Christ, Buddha, you wonder if they were even human. And it is because Rosicrucianism, I'm just taking one as an example, Rosicrucianism, or being a Rosicrucian, is the result of a group of beings, invisible, allies, who are bringing this wisdom to humanity to keep the light on. There are always beings, no matter how dark it gets for humanity. I mean, humanity has been in many dark ages, not just one dark age. We've been in many dark ages. We just remember the latest dark age. We call it the dark ages, when they were burning witches and saints and anybody who tapped into their powers. That there were always beings who were on the side of humanity and who would channel to us wisdom, knowledge, the sacred arts, the magical and mystical arts, so that we could rise above whatever darkness we found ourselves being engulfed in. There also being archons of darkness as well. There are archons of darkness. This universe is filled with more beings than I can possibly even mention. I don't even know probably this much of all the beings that inhabit this great universe. It's uncountable in number. And not all of them are friendly to human beings. Not all of them are of good character, just like humans. Not all are of the light. Not all want to see you succeed. And so when the archons that are, as they call it in the Bible, the princes, right, in heavenly places, these principalities. That's how they refer to it in the Bible, right? Principalities. Remember that scripture in the Bible where Daniel was praying and the archangel was immediately dispatched to Daniel. Yet the archangel took some time to get there. And he said to Daniel, when he finally did arrive, I love this story. I love Daniel. I'm making a whole spell kit around Daniel. You'll see it at the Christian Witches Convention. That when he arrived to Daniel, he said, as while you were yet praying, this is in the Bible, while you were yet praying, I was dispatched to you, which means that in the middle of the prayer, this angel was on the way to handle the thing that Daniel was praying about. He said, yet I was stopped on the way. I had to overcome this fight, this battle with the Prince of Persia. It wasn't a person. How is a person going to stop an angel? It wasn't a person. This is not 3D at all. This is multidimensional. We live in a multidimensional, multifaceted universe. And so some of these beings are for humanity and some of these beings are not for humanity. They don't like humanity. And they talk about this in the Bible too, because that's where they say, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent. I'm going to get into number 7 in a moment. I'm going to put a pretty bow on it. I promise you. Let's keep it all together, right? I'm going to show you I'm going to put a pretty bow on it, right, Cheryl? And In the Bible, it says that Satan, well, let me not say Satan. Let me go to Lucifer, because Satan and Lucifer are two different beings. Lucifer, the bright morning star, whom many in the research of the ancient texts call it Venus. This is really Venus. That whenever they're talking about bright morning star in the Bible, they're really talking about Venus, because Venus is the brightest star as viewed from our vantage point, right? That there's dialogue that this angel uh, wasn't gonna, this great, shining, brilliant angel was not going to come and worship this new creature, Adam, right? Adam Kadmon. Now, Adam wasn't a real person. This is a metaphor. Adam is primordial man. That's how we could think of Adam, right? You always have a pretty bow. I promise you, I'm gonna put a pretty bow on this. I'm gonna show y'all what this all has to do with your money. I promise you, it's all interrelated, it's connected. So it just seems like I'm going roundabout, yet there is a point to this. So Lucifer said to Archangel Michael, when they were having this, Archangel Michael was rounding up all the angels, and he said, come worship this new creation of our God. And Lucifer said, nah, count me out. I ain't worshiping that. And Michael said, no, 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 no. Because, Michael's like the boss of heaven, right? He was like, no, no, no. Yes, you are. You're going to come here. God made Adam. He's the first man. He's a new invention. He's a new creation. Everybody's rejoicing. You're coming to rejoice too. And Lucifer said, no, I'm not. And Michael said, well, yes, you are. There's going to be some consequences. And Lucifer said, listen, why should I worship that thing? I've been around for eons. I'm the bright morning star. This little punk, this new kid on the block, why am I supposed to worship that little mud being that God made? And I promise you, I did not find a hole in Lucifer's thinking. Now, I'm not a Luciferian by any means. I mean, I don't have anything against Luciferians, yet it seemed like a perfectly reasonable argument. Like, I'm the bright shining star. Why should I come and give obeisance to this being that is lesser than me? And so he was not from break. He was not a friend of this new creation. He wasn't. He wasn't on board with it. And then we heard the story, him and all his legions got kicked out of heaven. It's a metaphor, and it also beckons and harkens back many, many, many hundreds of thousands of years ago to sky people and all those things that I won't get into in this conversation. So I say that to illustrate that there are beings that are helpful to humanity, inclined to humanity, want to lift humanity and help humanity on their ascension. And then there are beings that couldn't give a flying rat's tail about humanity. Like, fuck off. Like, y'all are probably the worst creation of God ever, because you'll just mess up everything. You're like a virus. So not all these beings are just like, yay, let's help humanity. So when you have forces, principles of darkness, which we do need, dark and light, sun and moon, right? Yin and yang. When you have the principles of darkness that are not for humanity, they actually help us because they strengthen us, right? The forces of darkness help you because they strengthen you to resist temptation. Don't fall for, don't choose the path of lying and stealing. Stay on your square, be a good person, all that, right? Because they're always tempting you and trying to seduce you into, something you ain't supposed to be doing. All right. Sometimes we failed the test. A few times I failed the test. But anyway, I'm forgiven. You're forgiven. All is well. So the ones who are not for humanity There's just as much darkness as they can foment on the planet. The ones that are for humanity can foment even more light for us. And so, therefore, these beings who are for us, they're angels, they're legions of angels, archangels, they are ascended masters, they're spirit guides. There's just all kinds of beings in this pantheons and pantheons and pantheons of gods and goddesses, just all over the universe, right? Well, what they're doing is they are coming up with ways that will specifically help humans with specific problems we have. For instance, I didn't think up Christian witches. It's not my invention. There were many Christian witches before me. I think Christ was the original Christian witch, doing magic and all that. And his own people, the Jewish people, said that he was a sorcerer who incited the people to worship gods. Well, not even one god, gods. What's that about? Anyway, that I didn't make up Christian witches. There are heavenly powers that are working with Christian witches. Every spiritual tradition has a group of powers that are working with that group to unbind or unshackle humanity from something they've been shackled from. Right now, the beings are telling me that humanity has to let go of this whole religion thing, because the religion thing is very detrimental. It has been very detrimental, and humanity must ascend beyond religion. We needed religion for a while, and now religion, it is time for us to ascend religion. And so, therefore, they're helping us to understand how to go beyond religion. Religion can only take you so far. I call it kindergarten. It's about up at kindergarten. It can't take you into the deeper mysteries. It cannot take you into the great beyond. It still has you believing that God is a person, which means that you have to believe that you're a person, which means that there's not ever going to be ascension in there, because you're never going to experience yourself as the great all. With that said, what does it have to do with your wealth? Are you ready for this one? If these beings are working with you, and it is your purpose to do something specific with these beings, or something specific in your life purpose to free humanity from something. And if you're not doing it, you don't know your purpose, you're not sure, you're kind of floating around. Until you get on it, your money is going to be all bound up and tied up. I promise you. I promise you. We're doing this because we think maybe this is it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And we keep trying all these different things. Am I talking to anybody here? Who am I talking to? Because I can feel you. I know I'm talking to you. And because you have not yet, bing, 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 gotten right on that thing that is for you to do, and no one else can do this thing. It's you or nobody. It's not going to get done if you don't do it. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay, Journey said, well, Journey with Josephine. Come on. She said me. Oh, I love that. I love, whoo, child. I love that. I love when I point myself out too. Oh, that's me. Yes, Cheryl. Yes. Okay. Now, I will see what this has to do with money. I'm going to tell you exactly what this has to do with money. Okay. Come on. Come on. How do we find out exactly what it is? Ooh, good one. Good one. Good one, Goddess Gabrielle. See, my hand is raised. Ooh, I'm talking to the right church. I'm talking to the right church. You see, here is the challenge. We all know what the thing is ever since from when we were children. Okay, come on, Shimoda. Hey, Shimoda, come on about it, because Shimoda is an artist. She knows all this. We were shown it when we were children. We knew it before we were born. Yet, of course, we went through the sea of forgetfulness. You know, you have to go through the forgetfulness thing when you come into a new incarnation. Wow, we think it's brand new. No, it's not. You've been here 2,000 times before. Anyway, we forgot. And so, what do we have to do to find our way? We have to find it's a path. That's why they call it a path. Yes, throat chakra shaman, you know what I'm talking about. And all of y'all are masters at what you do. All of y'all are masters at what you do. So you must find your way through the path. And I'm convinced. I don't like that. The sea of forgetfulness. Wait a minute. I gotta show y'all. Speaking of that, I gotta show y'all a meme I saw today, and I had to save it. It was so good. Hold on. Let me show y'all this meme. Do you see what it says? It's a book I picked up. It says, "How to make sure you never get reincarnated on planet Earth ever again. Please, I cannot do this again. OMFG." This was on, this was on Facebook. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good one. How to make sure you never get reincarnated on planet Earth ever again. Please, I cannot do this again. Right? Because you just gonna we all know you just gonna keep spinning one more year. You just gonna keep spinning around, spinning. Here go another incarnation. Go to die. Wake wake up in the spirit world. Oh wow, that was interesting. Wow. Then you go through your debriefing with all your beings, and then you say, okay, I'm going in again. They're like, oh my goodness, you're zealous. And then you go in and you forget everything and you're born. And then you're looking around like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Do you ever think babies are thinking that? They're like, what the fuck? That's why babies look startled a lot, because they're like, what did I get myself into? It was so much better where I came from. Anyway, okay, let me not run my makeup. Anyway, you have to go through the sea of forgetfulness. You have to wipe the slate clean. It's over, right? And then as you're in this life, here's the beauty of it. You don't lose the lessons you learned. They're still encoded in your beingness, okay? Through the five elements. Um, so you don't lose what you developed. You just come in fresh slate and you don't remember everything. If you remembered all your past lives, you wouldn't be able to function in this life. So you don't forget everything. It does look fresh and brand new to you until you get into your spiritual practices. You begin to meditate. Plant medicine helps great with this. You munch some shrooms, you meditate, you chant, you go to these spiritually alive places like Sedona, Bali, right? Thailand. You sit by the beach. You eat better. You drink a lot of water. You're talking to the beings. And as you go, you're finding it. You're finding it. And it's a popcorn trail through the woods. No one can tell you what it is. You've got to go on your journey and find it. No one can tell you what your purpose is. I don't care what the best tarot reader is in the world. I don't care the best psychic on the planet. They can't tell you what your purpose is, boo. You got to walk it out. You got to follow the trail. And so as I continue, you find it on the path. That's how you find it. And so as I continued on my path, just listening to the sounds of truth, right? And in your spiritual practices, you will hear next steps. Take those steps. And here's where it gets spicy. The steps are very scary, and most people don't want to take the steps. The step could be quit your job. And you're thinking, oh, I can't quit my job. You know, in here you hate it. Your heart is like, oh, I sure wish that I could do painting or writing, or you know what you want to be doing, yet you already heard the voice say, quit your job. Yet, oh, I can't quit my job. How will I live? How will I survive? Your job ain't surviving you. Your job is a whole sham. The whole thing is a sham. Get out of there. Yet the fear, I can't leave my job. Do you know how many people have told me that? I'm like, just get out of there. What? And people, when I tell people that, they look at me as if I just said something that was horrifying. Like, they're telling me how horrible their job is. They don't like it. They hate it. They don't want to be there. Well, then just leave. What, Reverend? I can't just leave. Why not? Just like get up, pick up your stuff, and just walk out. Just do that. I can't do that. Why? Well, how am I going to pay for my mortgage? Who told you to get a mortgage? Well, damn, that is a good question. Society. The great voice for the great I am didn't tell you to get a mortgage in the first place. The great voice of I am didn't tell you to get three cars, a Benz and a Lexus and a Beamer, and now you have to pay three car notes. That's about a good $1,000 a month right there. The great I am didn't tell you to do all that. So naturally, you can't quit your job. Throw chocolate shaman, you know what I'm talking about. And then people come to a retreat with Kaisi, who is officially unemployable. And in great health, never missed a meal. Well, if I missed meals, it was because I was fasting. I needed to lose some pounds anyway. The I am is taking care of you. Consciousness is taking care of you. You are consciousness. You can't not be taken care of. So why are you staying in a horrible place? That's just one example. Here's another example that consciousness tells people to do. Leave where you're living. I knew I had to get out of New York. I didn't feel like, this is not it. Then I would go to DC and we moved down to Maryland. And eventually I moved to DC and I was in the DMV and it was so gray. And then I would come to visit my family in Miami. I would just be like, so uplifted and inspired. And then I would go back to gray Washington, D.C. I mean, it was still nice. It was cute. Had a cute place. It was a nice life. It wasn't it. And so, leave there. And I went to Miami. And then I was in Miami for a while. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Then traveling all over the world. And then I heard Merida. Like, go to Mexico. I heard Bali. I went to Bali. Wow. Amazing. Then I heard Merida. I was like, oh, Merida. Okay. Went there. Amazing. But we don't want to do these things because we're afraid. Pack your shit and get out of there. Why are y'all all sitting up in all that snow? Every time somebody tells me they're in snow, I feel like they're yelling a four-letter word at me because snow to me is a four-letter word. Like what? Especially if you have melanin, you need to be near the equator if you have melanin. You just need more sun because we already have a natural sunscreen, you know? The people that don't have a lot of melanin, they might do better in the north. If you have a lot of melanin, get yourself to the equator. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Why are you suffering? Now, if you love the snow and it makes you feel so inspired and uplifted and you feel amazing, stay there. These are the reasons why we do not do the things that would take us to our greater yet to be. We're too afraid. We got ourselves in some kind of bubble, some kind of yarn knit around us of what society told us where we're living. It was probably where you were born or where your family is. Why do you live there? Why do you live there? You know, when you could live anywhere on the planet. But but they don't have black hair supplies where I live. I don't know. Do like Reverend Tanya, cut all your hair off. Who needs hair? So, it's just we have a lot of gunk in our minds that do not help us. Now, this is what I want to tell you. When you align, that's all I really seek is alignment. When you align and you surrender to the greater isness that is for all, not just for me, right? It's for all. This will take you to your highest expression of yourself, the greatest expression of your gifts, and who you are supposed to help on the planet. And you know what it is. You know what it is. You've known what it is ever since you were little. You're too afraid to do it. That's all of us. I've known about Christian witches for over a decade. Christian witches still to this day. Oh, okay, here I go. Push past another layer of fear, resistance, just resistance to build something even bigger, to get the whole, okay, where's the Christian witches store? Where's the Christian witches tarot decks? They have already streamed all this stuff to me. The Christian witches building with Christian witches on the outside, Christian witches spiritual center, Christian witches, a spiritual center that's almost like a church, like a spiritual center for people to be able to come from all around the world. All the Christian witches spell kits and all those kinds of things, that you don't have to throw out all your Christian stuff because you want to do magic. Use your Christian stuff in your magic, works perfectly, because they're like this, they're like peanut butter and jelly. But do you see the building yet? So do you see the store yet? Do you see the tarot decks yet? So even with all that we do, these beings are calling us to a higher, 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 higher standard. Yes, Shimona, can't you see the building? Oh my goodness, I can see it, Shimona, I can see it. Promised land. To help people, because people still want to come together in spiritual community, and it doesn't have to be a church, a traditional church. We can still sing and we can still have music and all of that. And we can do have wands and pointy hats too. So it's coming. It's all coming. So that's what I mean about we continue on the path. And on the path, everything is shown to you. Yet, if you're sitting at a job or you're sitting in the wrong location, and when I say the wrong location, I mean you already got the in here to move yourself, but you haven't. No, no problem. It took me 2 years to leave my financial planning practice at American Express. It took me 2 years to leave my financial planning practice at American Express. Why? And go be an author and a teacher and a speaker. Like, I was just wanting that. Yet I was like, but I have prestige. I'm smart. I have money. I like money. How am I going to get all that if I go over there and be an author about spiritual stuff? Well, first of all, it's going to desecrate your ego. Just, oh, wow, that's not going to be fun. No, an ego demolition is not going to be fun. So, 2 years it took me. Finally, I was like, that's it. I was walking into the office like, why am I here? Why am I here? We know all these things. We just are too afraid to do it. We know. You know what's really going on with you. You know you ain't really supposed to be with that boo. You know you ain't really supposed to be in that house. You know you ain't really supposed to be at that job or whatever you're doing. You know what you're really supposed to be doing, writing books about magic or witchcraft or the occult or whatever. Your whole Christian family's gonna throw you out. You know you're supposed to be making art for this, for the president and whatnot. You know, you know, you know. Yet it's convenient for us to act like we don't know so that we can try to escape doing big scary things. There's no escaping doing big scary things. I tried it. There's no, is there a way that I can do Christian witches and it not be scary? No. Is there a way that any person can live their true path on this planet and it not be scary? No. No. Because the lower mind is super afraid of your elevation. Number 7. Wow, is this aligned? Of course. Number 7, principles of abundance. And if you do get the book, by all means, please use the Amazon link below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Say it with me, the divine consciousness that I am. See, you are the divine consciousness. You don't have divine consciousness. You are the divine consciousness. Woo! It's forever expressing its true nature of abundance. See, this divine consciousness that you are, it doesn't know how to do anything other than express all its goodness. It expresses deliciousness. It expresses bliss, beauty, abundance, happiness, peace. It expresses joy. It expresses enthusiasm, freedom, abundance. It doesn't know how to express anything else. This is its responsibility, not mine. It's not your responsibility to make abundance. You did not create abundance, and you certainly can't destroy abundance. You can't do a good job of blocking yourself from it. which is exhausting because abundance is natural. My only responsibility, tell yourself, my only responsibility, say it with me, this is participatory. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth, capital T truth. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. I just need to stay aware of the truth that the divine consciousness I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. I don't need to tell it to do that. I don't have to pray for abundance. I've been saying on this YouTube channel for years, stop praying for money. And I keep seeing people, I'm going to do another money spell, Reverend Val. Great. Let me know how that works out for you. It's not going to work because you're telling the universe by the fact that you're doing a money spell, you're telling the universe you don't have money. And all the power that you put into the spell solidifies that you don't have money. Therefore, say it with me. I am totally confident. Say it, let it roll off your tongue. I am totally confident in letting go and letting God do what? Appear as what? As the abundant all sufficiency, say it to yourself, all sufficiency in my life and affairs. That means everything you require will be provided for. Your all sufficiency is provided for abundantly. That means you're going to have more than you even need for sufficiency. That means you'll have sufficiency and you'll have enough to share with this person. You'll have enough to give to this person. You have enough to give to that person, provided you are aligned with the divine consciousness I am. You cannot sit on the sofa. Where's my divine consciousness? I am raining abundance on me. You're not in alignment. Why? Because the universe requires that you get up and activate yourself as a powerful force for good for all. Not just for some people, not just for the people that look like you, not just for the people that live in your town, not just for, that's one of the greatest lessons I have learned. I came from an extremely clannish upbringing. Not only was I Black in Harlem, and we were already in our little cluster. Inside that cluster was another cluster. It's like nesting dolls, right? You Russian nesting dolls. There was a cluster of the cult. I grew up in the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. And so in that cult, you couldn't talk to this person. You couldn't talk to that person. You could go to school, but you couldn't associate with those people. You couldn't, it's a bad association, spoils useful habits. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Every single Jehovah's Witness on the planet knows that scripture. They drilled it into us. So if you are in your little clan and you think you can only talk to other Jehovah's Witnesses, of course you had to talk to other people that weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, because maybe the person that was at the supermarket that you were buying bread from wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, yet you couldn't associate with them. You could say, hi, good morning, give me the bread, here's the money, bye. Yeah, some foolishness like that. It's a very bizarre religion. Don't ask me too many questions about that religion. I prefer not to talk about it at all. just giving you some background, some insight into, you are not sent here for one particular clan. You are sent here for a purpose, and that purpose is going to benefit the whole, even though the purpose may look like you're a hoodoo practitioner, you're Black, and most of the people that you serve are Black. Yes. Yet you are not sent here by the great consciousness, because consciousness doesn't have a color, so it doesn't know anything about it. You're sent here to help a group of people to elevate, right? And in that group of people elevating, the whole elevates. I'm going to stop talking. That's enough for today. It was quite traumatic, wasn't it? Oh my God. Well, it was traumatic to a point until I just started laughing hysterically at just about everything they were doing. Because I do tend to laugh at things. And oh my God, those people. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on cults and clans. Oh my goodness. But yes, you're absolutely right, Goddess Gabrielle, because it does, in psychological circles, they do say that people who come from high control groups, like Jehovah's Witnesses, like FOLD, fundamentalists, Latter day Saints, um, Mormons, people that are really high control. I don't know if all the Mormon groups are high control. I do know Latter day Saints are fundamentalists, Latter day Saints, and the very fundamentalist religions that when you grow up, your psyche has correlations to a person who has PTSD. So I won't say that you have PTSD. I will say that there are signs of PTSD when you are in a high control group, when you grew up in a high control group. Are you hosting any plant medicine retreats this year? Oh, yes. We just got back from one in December. We got another one. I haven't even announced it yet. So here's what you're going to do, Journey, with Josephine. Come on the Christian Witches podcast tomorrow because I'm going to be talking Christian Witches. Here I go. I'm going to be talking about 7 reasons that Christianity is a pagan religion. It's totally a pagan cult. Christianity is totally a pagan cult. I've got all the proofs and the evidence for you, and this will just solve the matter. Uh, period. They left a scar on me for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It definitely is a psychological imprint that they make. And the only thing that I have found that is effective to get rid of the psychological imprint is spiritual practice, is the vibration and the tonality of chanting spiritual practice for many years. That's what really got me freed and harmonized again. It's Scientology, one of them. Oh my goodness. Yes, Shimoda. Oh my goodness. And did y'all ever see that cult that's in Australia where the girls were wearing like the little blue dresses or something? And whenever you see these cults where they have to sequester people away from society, you already know it's bad news. Bad news. Bad news, because you already know that they're going to be doing some weird shit with the kids. They're probably going to be molesting the kids. They have their own police. They self-policing, no accountability. Bad news. Bad news. And then some of them, when you run away, FOLD, I think it is. What is it? Fundamentalists, Latter Day Saints. FLDS. That's it. FLDS. When you run away, they run after you and try to drag you back in. What is this? Is this a jail? Yes, it's a jail for the mind. See, this is why these beings who are helping humanity come into our golden age and escape, have our freedom. These are the beings that are helping us graduate religion. But I tell you, it's a little bit of a tough fight because some people want to hold on to those religions. Some people want to hold on to those religions. Yes, I had major PTSD after leaving the Latter day Saints. Boom, there you go, Carla. That's it. The Latter day Saints. It is traumatizing to a youthful consciousness because we grew up in these things. And when we grew up in these things, they were conditioning us and programming us, right? In FLDS, they take people's kids away from them. You give us your kids, and we do this and that and the other with your kids. Creepy, 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 creepy. And if y'all would watch Stay Sweet, Pray, and Obey on Netflix, that thing will have you just, it'll turn your stomach inside out. Look it up on Netflix. It's a documentary about FLDS, the fundamentalist Latter day Saints. Look it up. This man, who was their prophet, not only was he raping girls, 12, 13, in the temple, he built a temple for rape. Not only was he doing that, he went to jail for it, and they're still coming to jail. The man is locked up in jail, and they are coming to jail. The prophet, the prophet, and recording every word the prophet says. Yes, This is what's going to happen at the end of days. How do you not see that this person is a pedophile and had drugs? They found him. He was drugging on the way to going to Vegas. People, you have evidence. You have evidence. Still controlling things from prison. That's what I'm talking about. This man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the FLDS leader, Warren Jeff, still controlling things from prison. This man is in prison. People are calling him the prophet, and they're going to see him every Sunday in prison with some kind of like, they're sitting. That is from people being so disconnected from knowing that the source is them and they are the source, that they're looking for an outside thing to worship. Those people are dangerous and victims. They're either dangerous like him or they become a victim to someone like him. There's nothing outside of yourself to worship. There's no God up there, no sky God up there to worship. Close your eyes, turn within, and there's everything you require. Everything. And you only find this out as you do it yourself. Journey within, journey within, journey within. I hope you join us in Mystical Journeys. I think I put the link for Mystical Journeys earlier. I am so proud of Mystical Journeys and the program we created for y'all. You are going to love it. You're going to love Mystical Journeys. All right, family, I will see you tomorrow with number 8. And please do really meditate on, am I on purpose? Am I aligned in where I'm living? Am I aligned with what I'm doing? Or am I too afraid to heed the calling and the nudging and the promptings from my heart? And then make a choice. I love you. ValerieLove.com. Peace. Casey out.